All right, what's up? What's up, everybody? Excited to be here and talk to you today. Jay plays keys. We're live here, and look, the big thing I wanted to talk about today is just the role of the gospel musician, the role of the church musician during a crisis. So maybe I'll talk about that as more folks join the live stream. But right now you're looking right here. This is where the magic happens. This is where I make my videos. A laptop that I use to kind of make the piano sounds. This is my keyboard. I've had this for about going on 5 or 6 years now. So I was just in here working on some more videos for you guys and editing and things like that. And I decided just to go live and chat a little bit. And the thing that was on my mind was just talking about what's the role of the gospel musician, what's the role of the church musician during a time of crisis like what we're in right now. So if you have any thoughts about that, go ahead and put that in the chat or whatnot. But I'm just gonna tell you what I think, and you can let me know what you're thinking as well. And so I think the first thing that a church musician or gospel musician is supposed to be doing right now is really being mindful of the music and the songs that we're bringing forth to either to the public or via like things like YouTube and or either to your church if you guys are still having church or you're on Zoom. I think it's more important now than ever that we're being thoughtful of what songs that we're going to do for praise and worship, or what songs we're going to put out there as instrumentals, right? A lot of times I know we decide, we think we need three fast and three slow songs for our service, but really, let me put that down. Right now is that you have an opportunity to really think about like what's on the minds of the people that you're playing for, and what kind of song would really speak to them. Is this something where we need to be talking about something about healing? Are there songs about healing that we can talk about? Are there songs about faith that we can sing? Is it a celebration time, or is there things that people are struggling with, and you can kind of match the song with how people are feeling? Hey, Christopher, thanks for. Oh, hey, what's up? So we're just talking about the role of the gospel musician during a crisis. So I think being mindful of what type of music we're playing, and what exact songs and what the words are, I think that's the first thing we can do as a musician. I think the second thing that we can do as musicians during this time is really, share your music, because you don't have to have a huge audience in order to really touch someone with your music, because typically people that watch you or want to hear you play are people that know you, right? And so I know when I put a song out on Facebook, or I put a song out on YouTube or something like that, I do get a lot of you guys that are listening. Hey, thanks, I appreciate that. I get a lot of you guys that are subscribers that are listening to what I'm playing or whatnot, but I also get like my family members that I don't talk to very often, but they follow me on YouTube or they follow me on Facebook. So I think that right now, especially if you have older relatives or you have relatives that are kind of separated, they don't live next to a lot of family, you can, as a musician, start playing your instrumentals, play some hymns. I like to play hymns a lot because a lot of my family's older or whatnot, and that's what relates to them. But you can start playing those hymns and post them on your own Facebook page, or this might be a good time for you to start a YouTube channel and just start playing some songs that are uplifting, because I think that's what we need right now. We need people to be uplifted, and we need people to kind of feel like, yeah, there is hope. We're going through a struggle, but here's something that, at least for these 5 minutes or these 10 minutes that you're listening to this song, you can kind of take your mind onto something that's more positive. So I think that's something that we can do as a church musician. Another thing I think, if you're a gospel musician during this time, is to really be a peacemaker. A lot of times as a musician, we may not have a title of a leader, but we're leaders, right? I appreciate that. We're leaders in our community, we're leaders in our church or whatnot, and people care about your opinions, and the way you interact with, say, your choir members, your praise team, or even the people in your house. That can impact the feeling and the spirit that goes along with when you're playing. It's kind of like food. I see on the Food Network, they're like, you need to be happy when you're cooking food if you want the people that are going to eat to also be happy, right? And I think that is very true now more than ever in the music as well. As like, we need to be on one accord if we're working with praise teams. We need to make sure that even though we have some disagreements, try to be at peace as much as we can if you're still doing, praise and worship inside a church, or if you're doing it virtually. It's really hard to coordinate, music, musicians, and all that. Try as much as we can to kind of be at peace, so that whenever people do get to the point where they're listening to your music, it's not like so frustrating, and they're not so, stressful and bound up, but they're actually in a place where they can listen and they can receive what you're putting down there on the piano, or whatever you're singing and things like that. So I think that, it doesn't seem like it's a crisis that has anything to do with music. It seems like, it's a public safety and public health crisis and stuff that we're going through right now. But musicians are ubiquitous throughout the community, and the churches, every church has a musician, right? Mostly. And so, and often I've said it before, we spend more time as musicians with the church and with our community than a lot of times some pastors do, right? Because if you're in rehearsal 2 or 3 times a week, and then you go to church, and then you do your after activities, like you're really someone that, that knows these people really well. And so you have the opportunity to use your gift and use your talent to do something positive, right? And to encourage other people to, do things that are safe and do things that are positive. So I think, even if you're not a nurse or a doctor, you're not a, public safety person, but let's find ways to use our gift, to have a positive impact. Yeah, I'm just sitting here, guys. Just I was working on some videos, working on some editing and things like that, and I wanted to go live, or whatever, and just share some stuff that was on my mind. As far as music now, I think that we need to. It's a good time to go back to a lot of the hymns. I think, I love all the new music that's out there. I'm trying to learn more songs as much as I can. But I think right now is a really good time to go back to the hymns, not just because of the music, but because of the lyrics and because of the words. And maybe read some of those hymns, and read the first, the second, third, and fourth verses of these songs that we don't really get to pay attention to now in the modern age. I think that's something, kind of the fourth thing that we can do as musicians is encourage, your praise team, and encourage your community. Like, say, hey guys, we're going to do Near the Cross today, and not just the first verse. We're going to look at the other verses as well, and really, take that in and see, what was that songwriter trying to say? Why were they saying they need to be near the cross? And is this a time that we need to feel like we're closer to the cross, right? Just to take a deeper look into the songs that you're singing. And even if it's not a hymn, think about the words that are in the songs that you're going to be presenting, in the songs that you're going to be singing, and think about the verses and things like that. Don't just try to think about, a portion, B portion, and we're out of there, right? So I think that's something that we can do. Another thing that I think, the gospel musician can do in a crisis is support each other and reach out to each other, right? Because I think this is true for every community. Like, if you're you need to be hanging out and talking to like-minded people. We should be doing that already, always, but during this time, like, let people know that they matter. A lot of people are, I have a family. We live at home, but a lot of people live by themselves. Or a lot of people might, still be working. They might be feeling really alone. It's a good time to reach out to someone, because you can connect to that person in a different way as a musician. Like, if you know someone else is a musician at another church across town, or someone that you used to play with before, just reach out to them and say what's up, just and chat. And you don't have to really be talking about anything serious. You don't have to be talking about coronavirus, or you don't have to be talking about the civil unrest that's going on. But maybe they haven't talked to anybody about the piano in a while. Maybe they haven't talked to anybody about the guitar in a while. Maybe they feel like, hey, I'm not even going to church anymore. So what, they might feel lost because they're not having a chance to use their gift and use their instrument. And so I know for me, it's awesome. Every now and then I get to talk to someone who also plays the piano, who's been a music minister, and it's like, hey, what's up? Let's chat about this. Let's laugh about old times. Or, hey, did you see this cool this video that somebody did on YouTube that has something to do with music? And I think that's a really, really powerful thing for folks to do. And I don't think we're thinking about that right now. It's not top of mind, because we really want to make sure that everyone's, safe and healthy. But sometimes you just need to think about something fun, something that you love to do. And folks on this channel, we like music. We like playing the piano. We like doing gospel and, praising the Lord and things like that. So that's a good thing. Reach out to other musicians that and just check in and see how they're doing. and have a music conversation, because we probably haven't had many music conversations lately, right? If you're like me, you haven't, and so I know that's true for a lot of folks as well. I don't know. What do you guys think is the role of a gospel musician during a time of crisis? Because this isn't our only crisis. There will be other crises, right? And so, what can we do in order to kind of support our community, and and still we kind of stay in our lane, but also use our gift to support the community. So I think I want you to think about that, and if you think about something, put it in the comment section below, and just think, this is something like thinking out of the box, outside the box, where sometimes you might not even know that you have power to impact somebody in a positive way, but you do. Like I said, just a phone call can do it, or just thinking about bringing up a hymn or something like that, right? I think the Bible says be like we should try to be. Yeah, man, that's perfect, right? The Bible does say that, we should be a light on the hill and be an example. A lot of times it is just about setting an example. You're a musician, you're supposed to be, a leader from a spiritual sense, even if you don't have a title. We do need to be an example of hope and an example of things like that. Um, Absolutely right. Share the gospel through the gifts that we're given. And it's like, how can I be a musician and be playing all these songs about praise and worship and adoration, and I'm in this place of despair, and I'm in a place of sadness and sorrow, right? I think that we need to set that example, that if we're going to be the ones playing and getting everybody up and excited about life and excited about the Lord and things like that, we need to be that example as well, because we have to have a good witness. And like you said, sharing our gift, and sharing Christ through the gift that we are given, because everybody's given, given a talent. Everyone's given a mission in this world. So using your music to do that is really important. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and close out right now. I'll start talking about something else. So I appreciate you guys joining to talk about that. I'll post this video up so others can see and can comment later. Another thing I was going to mention is that I wonder what kind of songs that everyone's interested in learning nowadays. I think from the gospel music, there's like a crossroads going on right now that's bigger than it's ever has before, right? There's these traditional choir songs, and then you have the contemporary, and then you have, some things that are, we're going back to like a Hillsong type style and things like that. So I wonder what type of music are you playing in your church these days, and what type of music do you think you'll be playing when you get back? That's just something that's interesting that I've been thinking about lately. I'm like, man, where is it going? Are we going back to the traditional? Because there's some choirs out there doing some big things, or I don't know. It's just something that I think about. Just looking forward when you're making, trying to make these videos day in and day out. Yeah, hymns is where it's at. I agree. I've been on kind of a hymns kick, so I've been putting a couple of instrumentals up here and there about the hymns. And the thing about a hymn is that you can make it your own, right? If you think that the traditional way of playing hymns is too slow, or you think, or maybe you don't have those same chords, right? Because there's a lot of tritones and things. You can make it your own. Like, I see people make hymns like, sound a little jazzy. I see people take a classical spin on it, like whatever your background is. You can make the hymn sound like you want it to sound. And so that's something I always think about. Like, if I'm playing a hymn, I like to make it my own, because it's not going to sound like, I love the southern, the southern traditional sound, but sometimes I can't, I can't hang, because that's not my background, right? Uh, yeah, talk music. That's a good point about the talk music. I think that's important. I just did a video about talk music. Oh, I think I posted it too. I think talk music is super important, because as a musician, you're kind of helping the pastor and the church move right along, right? Music really keeps people's attention. So like when you're between, like, say one person is doing announcements and someone's going to come do prayer, the talk music is really important. And for folks that really master it, I think I've always gotten good comments about my talk music, because I really pay attention to it, because you don't want it to be like distracting to where you're like playing a song and then people start singing and listening to the music as opposed to thinking about the prayer or the altar call. But you also don't want it to be too random, right? You don't want it to be too random and something that that people can't they're not paying attention to what's going on. They get bored. And so one way I tend to do that is I might play a song and like play the melody in my right hand. This is my right hand. But play it like slower, and then I'll play it faster, slower, faster, and that way, even though someone might want to sing with me, they can't really sing with me because I'm not just playing a song straight. I'm just going to play like a couple, 1, 2, 3 notes, and then I'm going to play some chords down here. Then I play 3 more notes and then some chords down here. That way, they don't get too focused on what I'm doing, and they're still paying attention to what's in the service. And yeah, you're right. A lot of people do play a song. I would really encourage a lot of folks. Yeah, you're welcome. I appreciate that. I encourage people to like a song is the first way to start. I think my daughter is trying to come in here. Hi, hi, hi. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Ugh. Hi. Somebody came to interrupt my live video stream. You playing? You gonna go find the dog? Okay, go find the dog. Yeah, but I really encourage folks to think about playing a song, but you also want to think about the chords that you're playing with the song because and figure out more creative ways to kind of do the talk music along with those chords, right? Um, I think that for beginners, like I said, the best way is to play a slow worship song. Hi, got a 1-year-old running around here. I will do some more videos about talk music because I think there's really a technique that can really be powerful. But start with playing a song, and then start with playing that song slower, and then kind of syncopating the rhythm like slower, faster, slower, and then take those chords that you're playing in that song and then play a different melody even with the same chords. And that way you already know how to play the song, so you already know the chords, but the people that are listening to you aren't picking up on a melody because you're playing a different melody. So that would be my advice, and I'll do some more videos about that in the future. But yeah, I think talk music is huge. So between talk music and hymns, I think that's a good place that a musician can really differentiate themselves. And now the dog is here. So that's a good place that musicians really differentiate themselves because you're kind of expected. Uh-oh, there you go. You're kind of expected to know how to play songs, right? You're expected to know how to play praise and worship songs. But if you're a musician that can, God, everybody came in my studio here. But if you're a musician that can play hymns and that can play talk music, that's really going to set you. That's really going to set you apart as a musician. I've always, like I said, I've always gotten real good compliments about my talk music and about my hymns, and not because I'm the best player of playing hymns, but I think when I go to churches like traditional like AME churches and things like that, musicians don't play hymns anymore. That's just pretty much it. Like they'll play Amazing Grace and whatever's on the weekly processional, but we don't really play hymns that much anymore in the church a lot of times, unless it's just an old school traditional church. And so whenever I go and I play a hymn, they're like, wow, that was so good, that sounded so great. And also people like they'll tell stories and say, oh yeah, when I heard that song the first time I heard it, my grandmother used to do it, and it'll start a conversation. And I'm looking at this other guy who's a musician like 10 times better than me, but they're complimenting my hymns because I just play hymns and most people don't. And so it doesn't have to be that you have to have a lot of skill. Like just listen to the songs and play the hymns, and like you'll connect with people in a different way. I literally have the dog sitting in my lap, and I have the child trying to get in my lap. So this is fun. So I think I might cut it short here, guys. But thanks for joining me here, and I hope you guys are really staying safe, and I hope you're staying healthy and happy here too. And keep looking out for other videos of Jay Plays Keys. I was been kind of consistent for a while. Every Saturday posting the videos, and so I'm trying to stick to that as much as possible while balancing like work and all that good stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely want to do some more congregational songs. I like those too. Let me see if I can see that. Um, that chat. Um, a beginner way to learn hymns, honestly, it is to I would it's easy to show it, but I would say the beginner way to learn hymns is to learn the basic chords, like if and sing the song in your brain, like and don't worry about the melody. Just learn the chords. Like, am I on the one chord? Most songs are going to start on the one chord. They're going to end on a 5 2 5 1, right? And so learn how to play those basic chords, and then sing it in your brain and see that you can get through the whole song, right? Just playing the basic chords. And then as you learn it more, you start playing around with your right hand to get more of the melody. But I think that's the first thing that you need to learn, the basic chords. And yeah, these are really good questions um, because it's giving me ideas for songs. If you read music and you're trying to learn hymns, that's great because you can just look at the bass line, the bass notes on the main words in the on the song, and you don't really like because I read music too, but I kind of read it to look at where the bass is going, and then I make my own chords with my with my right hand, or if I'm doing two hand voicing. So if you read music and you can do hymns, that's perfect because you can find sometimes the hymnal that comes in the church isn't the best for you to read as a musician, but you can find easy, intermediate, or advanced song books, so you can play the hymns. And then if you play by ear, like I said, even better. Just learn how to just hum through the song on your own, and learn those basic chords, and then learn the melody. I would just say don't waste your time too much learning the melody at the beginning. You just want to be able to hold down the song because you're an accompanist. You're going to be doing accompaniment, whatever that word is. You're going to be accompanying whoever is singing. So really, if you're playing the melody, sometimes it can clash with what the singer's doing. But honestly, if you learn just those chords and you never learn the melody, how to play the melody, you're going to be fine. The only thing you won't be able to do is play, solo and things like that. So when you do solo, when it's time to solo or do talk music, just play a song that you know. Don't play songs you don't know. That's one thing I had to learn the hard way. I'll digress here a little bit, but I did have to learn that as a musician because I was playing for a choir in when I was in Alabama back then, and I felt so much pressure to like play all these traditional songs that they knew because these are songs, those songs that aren't even written down. You can't find them on YouTube. They're just old good songs, and one day we were at an event and they're like, we're going to play this song. Can't remember what it was, but I literally had to say, look, in my mind I was like, no more playing songs that I don't know, because as a musician, your job is not to be a distraction, right? Your job is to help the message come forth and all this kind of stuff. And so I said, look, guys, I cannot play that song. Let's choose. Here's a list of songs that I know. And I encourage all of you to make a list, keep a running list of all the songs that you know, because it's easy to forget, right? You don't want to forget songs that you know. And here's a list of songs I know. Choose from this list. And from then on, I never felt bad about saying, hey, I don't know the song. Give me a week to practice it, so that whenever you do go in, you're not being a distraction by people not feeling that you haven't mastered your craft. And don't feel bad about not knowing something. It's not about you. It's about the atmosphere, and it's about the service. So I'm not going to be a distraction. So I'm only going to play songs I know. What's my thoughts on preacher chords? I love preacher chords. I haven't done a tutorial on preacher chords because I am not an expert at preacher chords. But I can do the basics, and maybe I will do the basics because the point about preacher chords is you're basically following a pattern, which is a one tritone, and then a four, use your tritone, a five, and then you go back to the one, right? And it's pretty easy. 1 4 5 1, 4 5 1. So I can do a tutorial about the basics there, but I've seen some pretty elaborate preacher chords on YouTube and even in church services that I go to, and so I don't do that much, but I can definitely do the basics. And you probably won't be able to tell if I'm playing in a service that I don't really always know what I'm doing. But uh, and I kind of learn these 4 or 5 I call them my safety chords that I can know that I can play in any key, and that way, whenever there is preacher chords, it's preacher chord time. You know, my luck, he's going to be in the key like B or in the key of E or something like that, and I'm going to be like, oh man, I don't really know. But I learned my safety chords, and I know that's kind of taboo as a gospel musician because everybody says, you know, you got to learn how to play in all 12 keys. You should be fluent. But some of us are more fluent in certain keys than others. Like for me, yeah, A flat. I like A flat. Like for me, my strongest keys are E flat, F natural, A flat, and maybe C sharp or D flat. And I know a lot of people get mad at me when I say C sharp, like, oh, it's D flat. But honestly, um, yeah, that's a good point. It is important to do the basics, and so that's what I'm going to do. I will do a foundational talk music and a foundational preacher chords. So that's it. I keep looking over there because got the baby and the dog playing. So I will do that. But those are my strongest keys, and but I can play because I have my safety chords. And I was thinking about doing like a course just on safety chords. I have my safety chords, so I can get through pretty much any song in any key just because I know my safety chords, and most of that is really know your one chord. If you play a one chord, say you're in the key of C, C, E, G, right? You play a one chord, you already know that you already know your one is important, your four and your five, because you're going to mostly play a four chord in your right hand over a two in the bass, right? And you can play a four chord in your right hand over a five or a four in the bass. So just by knowing that one chord, right, I can pretty much handle most of the bass notes that I'm going to encounter. So anyway, that's way easier to show on the piano than to talk it through. But if you follow me, you see why for me, I learned these couple of safety chords, and I'm pretty good no matter what. And then obviously, as I recognized that I was weak in certain keys, I just spent more time playing. Like I used to not be able to play at all in the key of E or in the key of B. The key of B still doesn't make sense to me. Like I like there should be more white keys and black keys, but now since I've played more songs, and I try to if a song is in C, I'll try to start it in B so I can challenge myself. Now I can play in most keys, but yeah, it's good to learn about it. That transpose key, the transpose button, you're right. Transpose is there for a reason, right? We can use technology, but what I've learned, the thing that really made me want to learn how to play in all 12 keys is that even when I make a mistake, because I'm playing in the key of E. Yes, Isabel? Hi. 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 The thing that made me want to learn how to play in all my keys is because even when I make a mistake in a different key, I learn a new chord, right? So I might be playing around in the key of A natural, and I'll mess around and make a mistake, and I'm like, wait, that's not a mistake, because if I was playing in the key of G, that would be a beautiful chord. And so then I like write it down, or I'll try to do something so I remember it. Um, but I don't shame people for pressing the transpose key. When I was in college, like everybody was on this whole kick, like don't do transpose, and it was like almost like you were doing something wrong if you hit the transpose key. But a lot of people, yeah, I agree. Like some people say they should remove it, but remember the purpose of the musician. Like if we're in a competition, like a music competition, then yeah, don't be hitting that transpose key. But if you're in a church service, again, you are not to be a distraction. So because it's not about you, it's about the message, and it's about the atmosphere that you're setting. And if you can't play because you're trying to play in a different key, then you're being a distraction. You're not doing your job as a musician. Your job isn't to be good in every key. Your job is to, support the service. So I don't shame people for using the transpose key. I'm at a point now where I don't have to. I don't think I've used it much, but yeah, I wouldn't shame someone for using it. Backing a preacher, yeah, yeah. Backing up a preacher, sometimes you got to hit it, but don't worry. I'll have my get the Chordy app. Yeah, Chordy app is excellent. So it'll help you playing in a lot of different keys. But to really get to play in other keys, the thing that helped me was to like I'll play say in the key of C, or I'll have a YouTube channel in my ear, and then I'll transpose myself to force myself to play in the key of B, B flat, A, to play the same song. So I'm hearing a song in its original key, and then I'm transposing on my keyboard to make myself play in these different keys, and that's how I kind of get stronger in the different keys. And so that's why I say, transpose button isn't bad. It could actually be helping you, but we're also supposed to be mastering our craft and things like that. But you know, music might not be your full-time job, so I understand. It's not mine. But it's a challenge. Take it as a challenge, to learn how to play in all your keys, because I just know for me, I play different chords in different keys. Like even the keys that I'm comfortable with, like I don't know why. It's just easier to do certain things in certain keys, and then I'm like, oh man, that sounded great. Let me go ahead and try to learn that in all my keys. Yeah, I have been in churches where the where the preacher will say, "Hey, take me to E flat, take me to D." Sometimes I gotta say, sometimes they don't really know what they're talking about, unless they're a musician or something like that. Because I've had the pastors and stuff. They'll be like, "Hey, take me to A. All right, now take me up." And I'm down here playing an E flat or F where I'm comfortable. They don't know sometimes, but a lot of preachers like are musicians and they play the piano or they're bass players, and so they do know. And you'll get that look over or whatever, and you better figure out how to put them in the key of E or B. But also, if you're a musician, don't be trying to put me in. Don't be trying to put me in A natural. Don't nobody play in A natural. I'm just kidding. People play in A natural, but you get my point. So, but yeah, usually they don't know. They don't know what they're talking about. But that's why you got to have your safety chords. All right, you guys are making me really sure that I need to make this video about safety chords, because that's gonna be real key. Because then no matter what key they call out, you can play those three preacher chords, and that'll be good. And you're right, you will have musicians in the audience. I do look out sometimes when I'm in a big church, or big like medium sized church. You can tell who the musicians are, right? Because they kind of they might be visiting, and they just sitting there watching you the whole time. There could be something going on way over here on the stage, right? And their eyes are on you. I'm like, oh, he must be a musician. That's one way I know a musician, because they watch the musician all day. The other way I know it's a musician is if they wear like a bow tie, or they're dressed kind of, they're dressed a certain kind of way. I don't know why we musicians like to dress in a way that gets attention. Like they might be wearing like a loud pink shirt with like a big gold cross or something, like musician. Or somebody with the vest, a sweater vest or something like that, with the hat, with the weird like hat on, musician. I just know them when I see them. Musician. Or like and some musicians, they're musicians. They're like, if they feel like they can play better than you, they be like, they come up and say, "Hey, what's up, man? What's up, man? Hey, want me to want me to play this one thing for you? Hey, let me show you. I play too." And I'm like, "Oh, you trying to come up here and show out? That's okay though. Me, I don't have ego about my playing. I think it's cool, but it's funny when they're like, "Hey, let me play," and then they'll turn it up real loud, try to get some attention. Hey, you yeah. Where your drummer at? Oh yeah, you ready? You ready? Musician, man. We got to get attention. I don't know. It's funny. It's funny to me. But yeah. So if they watch the musician all day in the service, they dress in a certain way, and they come up and try to show you something. Let me show you. Let me help you out. Look, or they'll come up to you and say, "What was that chord that you did? Show me that." And they'll look, and they know good and well. Like, good and well, you play 10 times better, and be like, "Hey, show me that chord you did." And I'll show them. They're like, "Oh, like this," and then like the gospel Beethoven. I'm like, you was waiting 2 hours to do that, right? Yeah, we all know somebody that does that. That's funny. But I think that I've learned long ago, like, take your ego out of everything. Like, number one, if that person is visiting, they're gonna take your job. They're not gonna come back. And if they do, then hey, so be it. But I always said being a gospel musician is like being a college football coach or college basketball coach. Like, if the season goes well, maybe you get to play another year. If the season didn't go well, you lose your job. Don't take it personal. Just go find another one, or do like me and start a start a YouTube channel and play for yourself, right? But yeah, musicians do, and sometimes they do go to a church for ideas, man. Like for me, since I've been playing, well, now I play more traditional church, but I was playing contemporary church for a long time. I would have to go to like an AME church or a Baptist church just to visit, so I could, remember that kind of style and see different things that they do. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, you got to stay humble or stay humble. A lot of people don't say that. They don't say the H. Stay humble. But yeah, if you just take your oh man. Hi, Izzy. All right, here we go. Had to stop an emergency. but but yeah, if you just don't have ego, then everything you do, you can be learning. And yeah, I had to go catch the baby real quick. Um, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, church is fun to me. Playing the music is fun. And if someone's better than me, by all means, come through, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'll take it that opportunity to learn. So yeah, but yeah, here's what I do. This is exactly where I make all my music videos, all my tutorials. So I have contact on my laptop here, and so I kind of MIDI connection to my laptop, and got my little light. So I have a light on my face and all that. So I put contact and MIDI keys on here, MK sensation, whatever I need goes through my laptop, and then I record it. And so you guys see that. And then for my hands, I have a camera that's usually above my head. And so that camera is, well, you can't see it. Nah, it ain't gonna work. Anyway, there's a big tripod that's like, way up in the air. And it goes over my head so it can kind of see my hands playing as well. So that's my setup, and then I have a little light, a couple lights or whatever that are around. But I'm still trying to make it an even better setup because I kind of want to set a spot for me to do music in this corner, and then do a spot for me to do like speaking, like things I'm doing right here. Have a little setup for me to do speaking stuff too. So if I were to take this off of the tripod, let's see. All right, I can show my. All right, yeah, it ain't clean up here. So I can put my. So that's what records my hands right there, and then I got light. Here's a microphone I use or whatever. Here's a new camera I got. That's supposed to be a really cool camera. I haven't learned a lot. I haven't learned a lot about the camera yet, but my editor that I work with, he told me like it's a really good camera. So I just, between work and baby and dog and all those kinds, I haven't had time to figure out the camera. So yeah, so that's how I do it. It took me a long time to figure out how to do that, man. Like I'm like, man, how do people record their hands, and how do people record their hands and have their the keyboard on the screen, right? Let me put that back. All right. Anyway, so yeah, so it took me a long time to figure that out, but once I discovered what software I needed, then I record the screen with like ScreenFlow. Yeah, so it's not anything too crazy. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, but trying to get all the different softwares to talk to each other, sometimes that's a problem. And that's why sometimes people comment and say, "Hey, oh man, I got a lot going on in here." People comment and be like, "Oh, it sounds like you don't have a pedal. You don't know how to use a pedal. You don't have a pedal." I'm like, "Yeah, I got a pedal, but I'm putting the pedal into my keyboard, into my laptop, into contact, into MIDI keys, and then recording it." Like so, somewhere along the line, that software just doesn't work for some reason, and it bothers me. I haven't been able to solve it yet, but I'll solve it. I'll solve it one day. No, I don't use that tool, Omnisphere. I'm not familiar with that, but I'm always trying to look up different tools to use for my setup. So I'm also thinking about getting a like. How important do you think it is to show the keyboard on the screen? Do you pay attention to that, or do you just kind of look at the hands or whatever on a tutorial? Because I'm thinking about getting a different keyboard that has its own like speakers or whatever. And so I don't know if I'm gonna keep showing the on-screen keyboard. I might just show my hands or whatever, but we'll see. I can test things out and see how it goes. But yeah, it's been something. I've been able, at least with the quarantine and stuff, I've not had to commute so much. And see now my dog is all over me. I haven't had to commute as much, so it's giving me an opportunity to make more music and stuff. So I've been trying to take the opportunity to get a little more consistent, a little more consistent on Jay Plays Keys because I'm trying to do like once a week, once or twice a week. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But yeah, that's what we're doing. And I got a pretty cool. My wife got me this pretty cool rug in here, music rug there. And I got this. Can you see? I got this painting here. That was in the very first video that I did. I had my friend from college make that paint that up. I thought what I thought I was going to do was do an intro to all my music, all my tutorials, right there in front of that painting over there, and then I would go into the music. But lately, when I did that the first couple times, I found that at least me when I'm looking for a tutorial, I want to like get to the music, like get to the tutorial as soon as possible. So I don't do an intro on every one of my songs. Although the very first song I did, "We Give You All the Glory," Alpha and Omega, the very first song I did, that's got the most views. Like by, it's got the most views, right? And I didn't really get straight to the music there, but yeah, I decided to change up how I do it. So I try to get right to the music. Either I'll come in by the first song I did in church was yeah, yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. You Deserve It. I like that song. That's excellent. So looks like she's trying to go to sleep. Um, yeah. Oh, England checking in. Hey, what's up? International. Um, but yeah, so I try to at least start. I got to figure out a script, right? When I make my videos, I kind of start it with either me playing the song, or I'll do a little intro and say, "Hey, welcome to Jay Plays Keys. Subscribe, click all this good stuff," and then I go. But yeah, I've been trying to figure that out. But I think I'm going to stick with just playing the intro when I first start, so that way, if someone wants to just listen to the song, they can listen to it and see how I play, and then you don't have to watch the whole tutorial if you like just pick up the chords. And then I'll say, "Hey, welcome to Jay Plays Keys. Like, subscribe, blah 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 blah," and then get into the tutorial. So I've been fooling around with that a little bit. It's fun, trying to figure everything out. But yeah, um, happy Sunday, everybody. I think that's it. I mean, we talked a lot. We went all over the place today. But I think that again, the biggest thing to keep in mind right now, like I said at the very beginning of the video, is just think of ways that you can be an example, and think of ways you can use your music to help someone, either through playing music or by checking in on your fellow musicians that might be in a different city or in a different situation than you are. So I'll post this up on YouTube so other people can see and comment. Oh, we've been talking for 42 minutes. Wow. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go record this video for 10 minutes and then we're gonna go get ice cream. And it's been 42 minutes. So I think it's time for me to roll out. All right, appreciate you guys joining me today. I hope to do this again in the future. I really have fun, interacting with everybody. So be blessed, practice hard, stay safe. All right, peace. How do I end it? Maybe this X. There we go.